we have our good friend, Dr. Fred, aka Dr. Susie. I'm doing it the other way.
That's okay.
Dr. Susie Sweet. She is a phenomenal decorator, a great teacher, educator. So you're going to love this, what she's doing. And we will put up her website. She has a store. You need to tell us all about all the stuff you have. I'm going to go off screen because I can't stand looking at the Instagram the way it is right now. So,
Okay.
So take it away, but please tell us all about your stores too, because you have a lot of great things to offer. Here we go.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Fred, according to Deb, or Dr. Susie as well, from Dr. Susie Sweets. I do custom sugar cookies. I teach classes, and I also have a online cookie cutter shop that also sells online digital images. So I make images for those who like to print on cookies. So I have all that available. If you go to my website, which Lori will post later, I do have all of that. I also have a free hub on my website. So make sure tonight, after we have our session, you go and visit my free hub, because every cutter we use tonight and every image we use tonight is available free on my website. So make sure drsusiesweets.com, you visit that, and all of that stuff is there for free.
Awesome. I am putting up links for you.
Perfect. So today we're actually going to do something fun. Lori, I'm going to have you put up my separate camera as well, if that works. Today we're going to do a new technique called Paint by Dots. It's actually a new, you can see it here, a new way of painting on cookies. And the best thing about this is all you need is a paintbrush and water, and you just paint right on the cookies. This was a brainstorm idea that came with Becky and I just texting back and forth one night. Becky from 2Bs. We were talking about what if, and between the what ifs, we came out, yeah, we can do this. And so I went and created some images that all these are paint your own cookie images that you print on a cookie, and then you use water and a paintbrush, and you actually can just paint on them. So really easy way, new different way to get paint your own cookies to customers and not having to spend time to paint an extra palette. All you have to do is package in a little paintbrush, and you're off and running. So I thought today it would be fun if we put together something different, which is, and I might need to move my camera up a little bit, but what you can see here, I'm going to move this up so you can see it a little bit better. What we have here is a paint your own cookie gingerbread house. So basically, it's the concept of paint your own cookies, but with a gingerbread house. And how I did this was I actually used Procreate. I'll turn this light off so you can see it better. So I actually used Procreate, and I drew the shape of all of my cutters inside Procreate. And I just said, if I had a cute gingerbread house, what would be things that I would want on my gingerbread house? And so I created the front of the gingerbread house. I created the back. All these little dots, which are here, all these little dots are to basically color in the different areas of the gingerbread house. And so it's really easy to do in Procreate. And then once I did that, I exported it out and created a template on my software, and then I printed it. So I thought today what we would do is I would show you on the big blue, I would show you how we're going to print these. And then I thought that we would put one of them together. So I thought we would build a gingerbread house together. So I'm actually going to move over to my printer, and I'm going to move my camera with me. So you may get sick right now, but I'm going to move it over, and hopefully you can see. But I've sort of set up my printer ready to go to print my gingerbread house.
Can you tell us what that is? We got a huge audience here over on Instagram.
I can hear you. Hold on, let me see if I can. What was your question, Deb?
I said, can you share with us what it is that you're printing on? We have a ton of
Yes.
people here, and I don't know if they all know.
Perfect. So I'm printing on my Big Blue printer. And one of the things that I absolutely love about the Big Blue is I'm printing all of these images of my gingerbread house. So I'm printing the front of the house, the back of the house, the 2 roofs, and the 2 sides. I'm printing all of those images right now at the same time. So I created a template that had all of those images on it. I placed my cookies on that template. I lowered the bed on the Big Blue so it would fit the height of all of my cookies. And right now I'm printing all of those images at the same time. And so that's one of the advantages of the Big Blue, or the advantage of any blue printer, is that it allows you to pull multiple images and it prints directly on food. So I am about to host a gingerbread cookie party for a bunch of 3-year-olds. That's where this idea came from. And my thought process was, what's going to be an easy way to keep 3-year-olds entertained and building gingerbread houses at a party? And I thought, well, hey, the best way to do that is to create a paint your own gingerbread house. So that's where this idea came from. So this would be a great, really easy, fun cookie party idea that you could offer to your customers, where you have them all pre-assembled and then you just have them, oops, hold on a little bit. Don't ever do that when you're doing it alone. Don't ever touch a machine. I just did a boo-boo, but I had a little bubble in my icing. So basically, it's a great offering for different types of cookie parties or cookie offerings for any age. So that's one of the things I absolutely love about my Big Blue, is it affords me to print multiple things at one time. I don't have to print the same design over and over if I don't want to. And it affords me a lot of flexibilities. Awesome. Yes, Tina, it'd be great for your adult drinking friends. Yes, this would be a good drinking party idea for people as well. No one has to construct anything. All you have to do is give them a paintbrush and some water, and they would just print away. And the house is really easy to assemble. And I'm going to show you in a minute how we're going to assemble it. But let's print through these first. For this bed, it prints pretty quickly. It takes about, for a full bed on this, it takes me about 17 minutes to print a full bed of cookies on my blue. So it doesn't take very long to present. And these are actually very large cookies. So the top edge of the gingerbread house is actually 5 inches. And Big Blue is one of the only, or blue printers are one of the only ones that I know that can print over 4.5 inches. So I can print a very large cookie. I can print a cookie that's as big as my bed if I want to. But for something like this, to have a 5-inch cookie and I can print 2 5-inch cookies at the same time is pretty awesome.
So because the bed drops down, you can print on cakes, you can print on cupcakes, you can print on drinks, you can print on, what else is tall? I printed on sushi. Pretty much anything that you can put on there that has a relatively flat surface.
Marshmallows, tortillas, great for a Taco Tuesday. You can print on coffee, cream, a foam of a beer. That would be good with your drinking friends, Tina. You could print on their beer and they could print cookies too at the same time.
Awesome.
Oh, Kelly's printing on cupcakes tomorrow. So yeah, you can print on pretty much anything. As long as you have a good flat surface, you can pretty much print on anything.
Mate says, hola. She's going to be on Food Network on Thursday, I believe. So
very nice. So this is just going to take a minute, but it's printing pretty good. Even my mishap wasn't a problem. You'll be able to see that it printed okay. I think Tina gets into shenanigans. I'm noticing her comments. I'm thinking about it.
Well, Julie said if there's foam on your beer, of course she said beer there, like, the animal, you weren't
Yeah.
pouring it correctly. So, Julie, you're not.
Oh, Kate liked it. She said her husband was more interested in the printer when he heard you could print on beer foam. Good, good.
And we do ship to Australia, Kate.
Yeah, yeah. Oh.
I love that
But
group.
the nice thing about this is with this paint your own images or your paint by dots, even with Procreate, all you have to do is take the outline. So you could actually modify this paint your own house to something that's a theme for Easter or a theme for St. Patrick's Day. So all you have to do is put in the shapes of the gingerbread house into Procreate, and you can add and draw in whatever images that you want. And basically how I created it, like I said, was I just did dots of different colors. Another advantage of Paint by Dots cookies is you're not limited to your paint palette. You can actually create multiple different colors on your cookie. So you can have several different colors of brown, several different versions of red or green, and you're only hindered by your design. And so it really affords you, for paint your own cookies, far more colors than just using your typical paint palette. So it really opens you up. Yes, Easter fairies, lots of different things. It really opens you up to lots of different design options, lots of different color options. So you're really not limited to just putting together a paint palette. Rather, you can do designs, add some dots to it, to the areas that you want the cookie to be colored in, and then you just add water and you can go ahead and paint. So I think it really expands what you can do with paint your own cookies, and the colors spread pretty well, which I'm going to show you at the very, very end. So we're getting close to finishing.
Oh, there, yay. So Mate said she's going to be on Christmas Cookie Challenge on Thursday on Food Network. So definitely check that out. It's always fun to see her. Almost there.
I know.
Way with it.
I know. It's actually like ASMR, you can do this like therapy.
Yeah, you need a lot of that. Oh my goodness. So what is your favorite thing about the blue?
Oh gosh. I think the favorite thing that I love about it is just the various options that come with it. There's just so many different things that you can do with it, that for someone like me who just thinks a little weird, I mean, I think weird. So because I think weird, I think this fits for me. But it really expands my creativity. I'm constantly looking at, okay, what do you think I can make the machine do now? So I love that it's just endless in some of its possibilities. So I'm not limited by any accessories. I'm not limited by any extra things I have to add to it. I'm just limited by my imagination.
And she's got a great imagination. Hence her, you don't think weird. You're just extremely creative.
Okay.
So yes, you are weird, but your thinking is creativity, which is awesome.
I guess I'm weird in a good way.
Yeah, you have two personalities. There's Fred and there's Dr. Susie.
Yes.
So we're almost done here. And this doesn't, when you paint with it, it doesn't smear the colors or anything. You actually, are you using the cookie as a palette?
Yeah. So here's the great thing. It's okay if it smears the colors, because there's no outline that you're really worried about. So, when you do, a lot of times when I do my paint your own palettes, I have like a dark gray or kind of a black outline. And no matter what, when you add water to that, there's going to be some form of smearing. But with this, it's just like this coloring book. And so in a way, you're kind of filling in the colors. And yeah, they're going to Saltaritas, we're all weird. They're going to blend a little bit, but it's okay that it does that because that's the beauty of this. So I think we're close. But that's kind of the beauty of the palette is it's allowed for that.
Oh, there's 6 cookies on there. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, your cookies become your palette. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that. And then I'm going to show you, sorry about the nausea real quick. But you can see, other than that one little fudge, oh, it says please rotate your device. There we go. You can kind of see. Are you seeing it?
Yep.
So really good clear color, lots of variety. And all of those dots, once dry, obviously you let this dry a little bit. And I do print, you can print on a wet cookie, you can print on a dry cookie. You just need it to dry for 24 hours so that, you know, the icing is solid enough for you to be able to paint.
Gotcha.
All right, so we're back.
Yay!
So what we're doing, yeah, questions.
Leslie wants to see the tabletop version that you mentioned was new at CookieCon and the pricing. So the pricing, what's probably best, Leslie, is to go ahead and private message me. The price, all the pricing's on our website, but I like to qualify people before they buy a printer to make sure that it's the right choice for them. And so if you want to go ahead and just private message me, we can chat about that.
So I'm having some, hold on. There.
And Donna wants to know if you use royal icing.
I use a Franken frosting, actually, Donna. So I do a mixture of royal icing and of glaze. I mix the two of them together. So you can see here's a built gingerbread house. And everything's all put together. And I've made the cutters in such a way. Now, mind you, this isn't perfectly put together, but I've made it in such a way that all of the edges are easy to see and easy to do. Donna, if you want my Franken frosting recipe, let me know and I'll send it to you. So what we're going to do is I have 2 edges. I have the back of the house and I have the front of the house. And obviously I have my 2 sides. And then I have my roof. And I'm going to start with the front of the house. And I have a very stiff royal icing. I'm going to use royal icing. I will tell you I prefer to use Sydney Isomalt. Sydney, I prefer yours when I'm baking and building things. However, I was worried about it getting too cool. So we're going to just do some stiff royal icing and hope that it works. So basically I add one side, just like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Again, I'm just putting my royal icing right here on the lower edge, and it's very stiff. With my Franken frosting, sometimes I have to add powdered sugar to it to make it really stiff. And again, I'm just going to put it together. And I did use, what do you call it? A lemon zester to flatten my edges so that all of my edges on my cookies were straight so that it would put together pretty easily. And then here, again, I'm going to do, again, some royal icing, nice and stiff. Trying to make this so everybody can see. There you go. Just kind of put it together. And I'm just going to let that sit for a minute before I add the roof. So when I made these cutters, I tried to make it small enough that it's kind of making a very compact gingerbread house so that if you wanted to use it with customers, you're not using too much cookie dough. So the side edges are about 3 inches apart and the top of the house is about 5 inches. So it's pretty compact, but it still is large enough that your customers would feel like, oh, this is a pretty solid product, you know, that you're bringing to them to use. And yes, I did use fluff and stuff in this royal icing.
Woo!
So I did use it. It has a really good smell to it. I did add a little bit of almond flavoring. I always add a little bit of almond flavoring to my royal icing. And then to put the roof on, mind you, I'm not doing this as I normally do because I'm doing it so you guys can see. Again, I just put a good thick dollop of that royal icing right there. And then I kind of line up the roof. I'm going to press and hold for a little bit. And then we just sit and kind of go do, 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 do. Exactly. So all of these STL files are in my freebie shop. It's listed under today's date for Icing Images Live, so you can get them there.
Yeah, I just shared the link for all that free stuff from.
Lots of free stuff. Plus the images are there too. But like I said, this once put together, it's pretty sturdy. And I'll show you how easy it is to do the paint by numbers. And like when you use a stiff royal icing, things set pretty well. So I'm going to move this just a little bit and hope the house of cards doesn't fall down. See, it's starting to shimmy just a little bit. Fortunately, I already have one pre-built, so if this one shimmies while I'm showing you the next part, that'll be okay. Questions about structural or assembling 3D things? Anybody have any questions about that?
Everything is quiet, which means they're watching intently.
I know. So I just kind of made this one a little bit longer, but you'll notice that I bring the two edges together so that they're pretty connected. Like I said, if I was using Isomalt, I wouldn't have to wait like this. It dries and connects pretty quickly, and it's very sturdy, and it tastes yummy. So I don't really hesitate to use Isomalt when I'm putting together a structure. And
so are you saying you use the Isomalt as the glue instead of the royal icing to put the pieces?
I do. Yes, I use the Isomalt instead of the glue, instead of the royal icing, and I find that it makes things go a lot quicker and things set a lot quicker.
And which Isomalt do you use?
I use the Susie Isomalt because
it's
it's wonderful. I just pop it in the microwave, and I'm just starting to learn how to use it. I met Sydney at CookieCon, and oh my gosh, she's so inspiring, and all the things that she's doing. And I can't wait. I'm going to the CME retreat in January.
Yay!
I'm super excited about that. But I'm just getting into that world of Isomalt and really using it to add to my cookies and things. But it really is a game changer. It's pretty awesome. So then I kind of let this sit to the side. I noticed one of my walls fell down, but I'm just going to bring this one back over. And then I have, basically, this is the house. This is a pretty sturdy, I actually used Isomalt to put this house together, so you can kind of see it a little bit, but it was much easier putting this house together than with the royal icing. So, and then what you do, basically, with these is you just take a paintbrush and dip it in some water. So I have some water here. And then basically you can kind of just go to town. And it's just basically painting. And this is what I mean why it doesn't matter if it smears, because really every single spot on here is your paint palette. So every single spot that you're touching is distributing the color. So you don't have to worry about it blurring or spinning lines or anything like that. So like this here, if I want this part to just be the green part. Sorry, I'm not.
Julie Goodwin, are you going to the CME retreat?
Yay, I get to meet Julie.
I know, I can't wait. For those of you who don't know what that is, the tickets are kind of gone. I think there's some dinner, it's like a demo night are still available, but for the classes and everything, they're gone. But it's like the awesomest thing in the world to go to. For the next one, I would suggest signing up right away.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. So you can see as I'm coloring in different colors. You can kind of see that's the roof a little bit. So that's how you do the roof, and I'll show you the brown a little bit so you can see the brown. The brown's kind of a grayish brown, but it kind of just, rather than just have it play white, it just adds a little bit of color to the house. So it's sort of just like a little tan color. But you can change, here's the great thing, any of my images that are in there, you can actually import it into Procreate, and you can actually change any of the colors that you want to change. So it's easy to just, paintbrush in or color in any of the colors that I've selected, and you can make those images customizable. So there's the side, and then I'm going to paint my little plant. Paint my little potter. My little shutters. And again, see what I'm saying, where it doesn't really matter about the lines, because the lines are actually your paint palette. So there's a little brown. And I can paint different colors in the, see, even the small colors. That's kind of, I don't know if you can see this, but it just fills in pretty nicely. I'm going to do it a little closer. I'm going to use one of these. This is my turkey. I'm going to come in closer with the turkey. Turn this a little bit. Can you see this a little bit better? Real close. So this is actually a freebie that I put on my website. It's a turkey. I don't know if you can see the turkey. Can you guys see the turkey okay?
I can see it.
All right. So this is, again, another paint by dots. So really all I'm doing is taking my paintbrush, my palette with water, dipped it in water. And basically those dots become your colors. And it's just really kind of just a fun way to color a cookie. And you don't need any extra palette or paint or anything. And it affords you the ability, see how that black gets a little runny? That's why I don't like paint, typical paint by cookies. And again, you just kind of go through and select the different colors. And
yeah, we lost your camera on that.
Can you see it?
Nope. Oh wait, it's back. Yay!
Okay, good.
Okay,
good. So really, and the reason when I create a paint your own palette, you'll notice I put some of lines in there. The reason I put those lines in there on my designs is because it's adding more color. So I use that to really add more. Plus, if you think about a paint by numbers, I modeled it a lot after the paint by numbers, where you have this abstract design, and then once you color it in, the design kind of reveals itself to you. So that's another reason why I did that, is when you do it and you finish painting, people are like, oh, it's a turkey. It kind of reveals itself to you.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of what paint by numbers do, is you kind of don't know how the design is going to turn out until you paint it. So I sort of modeled it after kind of paint by numbers.
Gotcha.
That's why some of those lines are in there, and it actually kind of gives you more color to work with.
So like making these pictures, you said you did it in Procreate.
Yeah.
Is there like a trick to, I guess, putting something like this together?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, because I have something ready to show you.
Yay! No, I did not know that. Oh, look at the blue. I love that blue.
Yeah, it's nice. So I have for us, you didn't know that. So here is a sample of an image that I'm just starting for Paint by Dots in my Procreate. So basically what I do is in Procreate, I sort of have this template. Hold on, let me pull out my pencil real quick. I have this template where I always kind of work in a square. And I always have kind of a sky part, and then I always have sort of a ground part. And then I try to have an image of some kind in the middle. And then from there, I start by drawing an outline of what colors I think I want to have in those areas. So you can see I kind of drew the bow purple. This is orange, yellow. There's a skin tone here, a brown for the hair. And then the lamb, I have some gray and darker colors. Am I losing it again?
No, you're good.
Okay. Darker colors on the lamb, pink and kind of that skin tone. So I sort of start there. And you can get any of these images from clip art images and just trace them in Procreate if you want, in the colors that you want. And then once I've sort of decided, all right, that's what I'm going to do, then I select the color, for example, the sky. So say I wanted to add a sun in the background here too. So I'm like, okay, I want to make sure I include a sun. So I'm going to create a little bit of difference there. And then I always make sure that I match. And I'm not drawing straight on, so my lines are not matching for y'all right now, but I would fix it. So I think, okay, those are all the things that I want to include in my image. Then I start thinking to myself, okay, well, like any paint by dots, I want to make sure that I add some color here to add some color to the image. And then I just basically draw my dot. That's it. And then I use my color to fill it. And I'm like, okay, that's one part of my drawing completed. For the sky, I think, okay, well, what are different things? All right, I want to make sure that I add some color here. And I think, okay, I'm going to do a line here. Again, I'm creating that typical kind of paint by numbers feel. So that's why I'm adding these sections so that when it's fully together, and I'm rushing right now, I'm not doing it perfect for y'all, but I want to show you what I do. And then basically, I just start filling that in. Okay, here's a dot I want to add some color. And then you can kind of start filling it in with dots. The same thing with the lamb. Okay, I'm going to just add some dots here because I want to fill in, that section, to color in those sections. The same thing with his coat. All right, I'm going to do a dot here. I normally try to get my dots perfect. I'm just kind of doing this to show you right now. But you're going to just basically add these different sections, and you can add a line across this here too to add some more color. So basically you're using these clip arts and just adding dots into the sections where you want to add more color. So for example, once I've completely, here's one I just did for Halloween. This was a cat that I did. And then where's my, did I do an angel one? Oh, I know where it is. Sorry. I had it ready for you here on this. Yeah. So here's an example of a gingerbread house. Here's an example of a finished one. I basically took a clip art image of a gingerbread house, and I added all the elements that I think I would want to do. And I put in the lines, just so it was more like that color by numbers. I added some clip art in order to make the door, the different baubles on the roof. And basically I just kind of, as I went along, I added dots to areas that I wanted to, to fill in. So for example, if I didn't like the color of that lower house, sorry, I need to touch it, sorry. If you wanted to edit this image that I created, but you wanted to change the colors, you just basically kind of have to drag it in, and you can change the colors to anything that you want to fill in that part of the gingerbread house. So basically, I just kind of use clip art, create lines, and then decide how I want to color it in as I'm going along. Jesse asked, can these be ordered pre-printed cookies, say in different themes? What would be the cost? Say one like this for 12. So I usually, when I sell these to people, I usually sell this as a set like this at $4.50 a cookie, and I include a brush and package it and include it with instructions.
And I think they're on the low end.
I am on the low end, but I live in a very poor part of Orange County, so.
Is there a such thing?
But other people would sell this, say, for $6. They might sell it for $7. So it just depends on your market. And Julie asked, in the Frankenfrosting lessens the amount of pitting in the icing images. I find with my Frankenfrosting, I have a very smooth finish. You can see here, I'll bring this up a little bit and move this out of the way. You can see that it's I don't know, I might turn that light back on. You can kind of see it's pretty smooth and it's pretty even, the flood. So, and it actually dries shiny okay. I print on these when it's slightly crusted over, but I've also printed on cookies that have been completely dry. So I do, and sometimes I print on cookies when they're still wet. Yeah.
That's one thing that I love, because it saves you so much time, to just print on the wet cookie directly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Julie was asking about holding up to water. Here you go. This actually holds up pretty well. So there's not a lot of pitting to it, and I used quite a bit of water. So it actually holds up very well for these Paint by Dot cookies. So good question, Julie. Yeah, it actually holds up pretty well to that water. I'll leave that there so you guys can see it. But yeah, and you can see on the house, again with the house up close, it held up pretty well. Mind you, it's not beautiful painting because I was rushing, but yeah, it does a nice job. Once you hit the water on it, it doesn't disintegrate or pit too much. I pipe, Donna. I pipe my cookies. I have got to learn. Susan Trianos has an amazing tutorial. She just did it at Holiday Cookie-a-thon, and I'm going to watch it again. And at some point, I do need to venture into dipping cookies, but I currently do pipe and flood. I use one consistency when I'm piping, so I actually pipe my cookies, and then I actually use my scribe to pull all of my icing to the edge. So, and I don't outline and flood, I just pipe with one consistency. Mine do not look like Susan's when I do them as well, which means I need to practice more. Dawn says hers don't look like Susan's. Mine don't either, so I'm going to still practice. But I find I can still flood in pretty fast. Like I said, I use that one consistency. I get pretty good close to the edge, so I do all right. I have a thinner cookie. I don't use a larger cookie. My cookies are about 1/4 inch when I do them. But this is really fun. It's a fun project for kids. It's good for cookie parties. I like it because all you have to do is ice and print on the cookie, take some water and a paintbrush and show up at a party. I have, like I said, this one is free on my shop. You could take this to Thanksgiving dinner and bring some paintbrushes, and you'd be the hit of Thanksgiving dinner. Other questions about Paint by Dots techniques or frosting or glue? Yes, you could outline on those, Jessie. You're right. You could outline.
I am searching for that Susan Trianos live, and she texts me. This is really funny. As soon as I say her name, I'm looking for that live with Susan right now.
So Linda asked what size. These actually, Linda, are 3x3, but I think the only reason I made these small was because I had 3x3 cookies on hand for another order I was doing. But if I were to do these for a customer, I would make them no less than 4 inches for sure. So these are done on 3x3s, but I would definitely make them a 4-inch cookie, a 4-inch square, because it gives the kids more surface, or anybody more surface area to work with, because some of these spots are pretty small, but also they feel like they're getting a good sized cookie and a good project. Another fun idea I thought about this too is you could have kids in your neighborhoods do a drawing for their dad for Father's Day, and you could turn that drawing into a paint by dots for them, and then they could give it to dad for Father's Day. So you can really customize these for really any type of art, and it would be easy to edit any drawing that a kid did and turn it into a paint by dots, and then that would be a fun Father's Day present. I know we're not near Father's Day, but that could be a good Christmas present for dad, is they could make a picture for dad or Hanukkah gift for dad, and then do the paint by cookies. Dad could paint their artwork. That would be kind of fun. You could go crazy.
We are crazy. We already established that.
Yeah. So this is a 3x3, but I would do a 4-inch cookie for that. And like I said, it's really easy to design these cookies. It's really easy to take any image, really, and turn it into a paint by dots. All you need is the right artwork, and then you just kind of draw the lines into whatever artwork that you have, and just kind of add the color of dots that you want to do. So all you need is just some good clip art and your imagination and a color palette. I always, when I design these, I have that color palette. This is a typical color palette that I use to get good dark colors. The darker the color, the more saturation that it's going to have, and the more ink it's going to put out there. So I would always tend to go darker. However, the blue that I did, that blue is really vibrant. That's that vibrant blue. Purple is a good color to use. Oranges are good. Reds are good. A good solid Christmas green is good to fill in. But basically, any color that you want, it's easy to make a paint by dots palette. It's really easy to do. And in December, I'll put I have a couple of these images are actually available in my shop, the Christmas ones. I have a Christmas packet that you can purchase. That's the snowman. I have a Christmas tree, the elf, and Santa. And then the Thanksgiving one is free on my website. So it's a freebie shop. So.
Awesome. I love this. I like the simplicity of it. There's no palette, which is nice. Since
hi, Molly Hopkins. I forgot to say hi.
On. Yay! Yay, Molly!
But there's a lot of options here. You can probably turn this off. We can stop this one, and we can just talk if you want.
There's Fred.
There we go. I'm back. But just the possibility is endless. Like I said, all you need is whatever photo editing software you're comfortable with. I like to use Procreate with these types of designs because it's easy for me to draw in the lines. It's easy for me to add the dots. And all you really need is some good clip art. And all you need to do is decide how you want to use different parts of the clip art. That's what I did when I designed the house, is I just had different components of a gingerbread house that I wanted to include. And then I just kind of dropped them into Procreate and added the color dots. And the colors, that's what I love about this, is the colors are endless. You're not limited to a 6 palette. You're not limited to a 4 palette. You could probably do a different color in different sections. It doesn't matter. And the blue will print it all, and will print all of the different designs. So it's super, super flexible, super open for lots of different options. So
now, if you have a regular edible paper printer, and you want to do this, you want to use the smart sheets for this, not necessarily the icing sheets. The smart sheets handle the water really well, and I'll throw up a link in just a second. I'm working on that now. But definitely, the blue is not for everybody, and I've told many people not to get them when it doesn't make sense. And so edible paper printers are awesome. We sell them. We sell the paper. We got all that good stuff. So I will put that link on here for those of you who need it. It's the smart sheets.
I wanted to share something else. In the past, I've done anaglyph images with you guys, which are 3D images on your cookies. So I actually found a new style of making these 3D cookies, and the new style is you actually make, these are some birthday cookies I just made. So you actually
Found a new style
background 3D,
cookies, and the new
but you don't make this image 3D. This image is just an actual regular image that I placed on top of the 3D background. And this image pops off the cookie as if it's sitting on a clear plexiglass surface. So it creates a really cool effect. So I created the background paper as the 3D image, and then this is just a regular image on top, and it pulls the whole thing off. So I actually have a free Thanksgiving turkey that I did with this new style of anaglyph images. I put it for free in my November file on my website. So I encourage you to download that one and check it out, because it is a new style of anaglyph image that really creates a fun new effect. And it opens it up to really any clip art that you want to use. All you have to do is create some fun holiday background paper that you want to make 3D, and then you can put any image on top of it, and it'll pull that image on top. I have some Christmas ones, some Western Christmas ones on my shop that are available as well. So, and Donna asks, when do I have the time to go to work? Yeah. I have a full-time job. This is not my full-time job. I'm actually director of human resources for a very large school district. So I do that. Gosh, a lot of during the week, and then I do this on the weekends. So I do it in the night and on the weekends. But I don't have any kids at home, so I have to fill my time. That's I would drive my husband crazy if I didn't have stuff to do. I would drive him crazy. So he's really glad I have this.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. I just love what you do. You're so creative in the things you come up with. There's always something new spilling out of Dr. Susie. Yeah, we had a big audience tonight watching you, because you just always surprise us. So now, Dr. Susie did mention her anaglyph images. If you go to our YouTube page, you're going to see her live there on the Icing Images YouTube page, and you'll see that was done probably about a month ago, maybe a little bit more, and that was amazing. Anaglyphs are the 3D. Let me just grab the glasses.
I have them. Here.
I have them here too.
Come back and
They're from you. You sent them.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
I can see it 3D from the computer. It's pretty cool.
Really?
Good job, Dr. Susie.
But
I do have a YouTube channel as well, and every live that I've done with you guys, I put on my YouTube channel, so it's there as well. So people, if they can't find you, they can find my YouTube channel. I think there, and I'm starting to do new shorts, and I may even try and do an online gingerbread character cookie class for sale this season. I'm working on it. We'll see if I can get it done. But
awesome.
Yeah, so lots of fun stuff, lots of new ways. But I really think this could be a fun option for a lot of people to do cookies in a new way and get people interacting with cookies in a new way. And I think this gingerbread house one could be fun at a lot of parties, or even offering it as an in-home option that you give people as kits. You could package this, put it as a kit, and sell it as a kit to families at Christmas time. I think this beats anything that other people would put out there. So I think you could put together something like this, and it would be great. That's
awesome. Definitely. You can, if you start posting, I recommend that people who have, obviously you guys all have a cookie cake business, but putting up pre-orders, so you know exactly what you need ahead of time, and putting something like this in there, I think people would order these like crazy. It's
I think so. Yeah, I think you could sell these really well. I think these would sell great as an option for families.
Yeah.
Super easy way to get the kids. And each one, you could even, like I said, take my templates and create whatever designs you want. You could customize it for different families, put pets on there, whatever you want. All the measurements of different things are in there, so you guys can get creative. But I think this would be a wonderful cookie option for pre-sales, for sure.
Yeah. I agree 1,000%. So that's awesome.
And I would love to see what you create. So if you take this and make it better, which I hope you do, because I always encourage people to make things better, please tag me on Instagram, share what you create, put it out there. I love to see what people create and do with things that we share on this live. So please share.
Definitely. That's awesome.